Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel for another video today. I'm here today to share with you guys some more information regarding the recent removal of the drug tirzepatide from the FDA master shortage list. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys pretty much everything that we know so far. I have lots to talk about and I have lots of screenshots of different information that I have gathered that I'm going to be popping up throughout this video. And I will link everything down below as well so that you can go read there too if you want to further your studies. But I spent a long time this morning going through, gathering information so that I can offer you guys everything that we know so far. We have a little buddy here this morning. Coda's gonna sit with us while we do this, and I want everybody, before we get into it, to take a deep breath, to calm down, and to remember that we will get through this because we've gotten through the shortages so far. We've gotten through when the coupon changed. We got through when we couldn't find our medicine anywhere and we originally switched to compound. We will get through this as well. I have complete faith that this will work out for everybody. So, to begin, this is what we know so far. I've kind of organized this based on different categories. So what the FDA has said, what different pharmacies have said, and what different telehealth companies are said. So we're going to start with the FDA. There was a person online, I guess, that emailed the FDA. She emailed the deputy ombudsman, who is Rondalyn Cox. And Rondalyn responded to this person and said the following: "Thank you for contacting the FDA's Office of the Ombudsman. We appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts with us. Please be aware the FDA has no jurisdiction over pricing or practice of medicine. The Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act restricts compounding after a drug shortage is resolved. Compounders will have 60 days to continue to compound a resolved product. The FDA continues to work with manufacturers to help resolve shortages." So I think that this is a good indication from the FDA specifically. This is literally the deputy ombudsman saying that compounders should have 60 days to kind of go through the stock that they have left and resolve any issues. Now, that is also going to largely depend on what pharmacies are comfortable with in terms of continuing to produce. Eli Lilly obviously can threaten lawsuits and stuff like that. So it really is just going to depend on what each pharmacy is comfortable doing and how much risk they're willing to take. So that leads me to what pharmacies have been saying so far. So we have actually heard from two of the major pharmacies in regards to compounding tirzepatide or compounding anything really, which is Hallandale and Red Rock. Hallandale actually has said that they will no longer fill tirzepatide prescriptions beginning at 5:30 p.m. on October 3rd. So it was yesterday afternoon. They have made the decision to completely halt production of tirzepatide. Now, that's pretty much all they have said so far. So they didn't like say anything else. And I believe that this is a tactic to save them from anybody reading into anything. So it may be that they halt production and that is it and they don't start again. It may also be that they are looking for alternatives or they're switching the formulary or whatever. And so they were buying themselves some time to do that. It's unclear. What we know right now is that they are not filling prescriptions any longer. If they did not fill it before 5:30 and your prescription typically goes to Hallandale, then you won't be getting it. You most likely, it will be kicked back to your telehealth company and they will decide what to do with it from there, either to send it to another pharmacy that is still producing or to refund you your money. So Hallandale, they seem to be done for now. Red Rock has released an email saying that they are pausing filling of prescriptions until they can rework the formulary. And basically what they said within that email is that they are going to be offering custom formularies for each patient. So this seems to be the like known workaround, is to offer a dosage that isn't commercially available. So for example, if you were written, or if you usually would take 2.5, they would fill it as a 2 milligram prescription or whatever is kind of the example that they have been giving. So that essentially Red Rock is more like, we're not done, but we are taking a minute. We're gonna breathe a second and we're gonna figure out how we can continue to go forward. And I really appreciate that. I really like that. I don't think that it's a bad thing that these pharmacies are making statements. I think that means that they're aware, that they're trying to figure it out. I don't necessarily think that Hallandale saying we're halting it is a bad thing. Maybe, again, they're just trying to figure it out. Maybe they are done. I do think that if Hallandale, which is arguably the biggest distributor of tirzepatide compound, if they do come out and say, we really are done, we're not doing it anymore, we're caving, that is a bit of a foretelling of what could be happening for the rest of us, right? Because if all the other pharmacies see Hallandale sort of folding, and them being one of the richest and the biggest compounding pharmacies in our country, what is going to happen to all of the other smaller ones who were hoping they had a fight, but if Hallandale's caving, what are we going to do, right? So those are the two biggest pharmacies that have spoken so far. Now let's move on to telehealth companies. Now, a lot of the telehealth companies are saying a lot of different things. I have gathered, we're going to talk about 3 today that are, I would say, some of the bigger ones that offer or have been offering compounded tirzepatide, and 3 of the ones that I could verify through screenshotted either website updates, email updates, or whatever, things that I could actually see came from those specific telehealth companies. I didn't want to share anything that I could not verify directly through that company. Same thing with the Red Rock and Hallandale. Those are the 2 that I've actually seen real emails, real data from. I don't want to share anything that is not 100% factual, as in I can prove it I can back it up with data. I don't want to just take something that somebody has said on the internet without a screenshot or without a proof and twist it and try to push that as truth for you guys. So everything that I'm going to say, I'm going to be adding screenshots for that you can look at and verify as well. So the first one that we're going to talk about is Lavender Health. That's actually the one that my doctor recommended to me when I originally was going to go to compounded tirzepatide, and I ended up not going with them, and I don't necessarily remember why. I just decided to go with Orderly. I do know that they are based in like the South Carolina area, and maybe that's why, because I'm in North Carolina and he knew of them or whatever. But Lavender Health has released a couple of different statements. They were updating quite regularly throughout the day yesterday. The first thing that they said is that they asked that if you had an outstanding invoice through Hallandale, so if you normally got your medicine through Hallandale, that you not pay that invoice, because it would just get really confusing with Hallandale saying they were stopping, kicking it back and all of that. So the first thing they said was just don't pay. If you give us a minute, if you usually go through Hallandale, don't pay your invoice. Then there's an email going around that is written by Amanda, who is a patient support specialist with Hallandale, and she has come out and said, and this was actually after the original update from the sort of just don't pay your Hallandale invoices. This was a subsequent update where she has said that all refills, consults, and all of that of tirzepatide have been placed on hold. So Lavender Health has said that they are placing all of them on hold. You can't check in and refill. You can't start a new consult through them. And they are doing that so that they can, again, take a breather, take some time to figure out which of their pharmacy partners are still filling, how to reroute patients that usually get ones at pharmacies that aren't filling anymore, that sort of thing. So they've essentially asked for a bit of a grace period to think about things, okay? So that is pretty much all that Lavender Health has said. Joint Fridays released an email, and they are taking a much more, I would say, safe route than, well, I mean, I guess it's similar, but their language that they're using is very final, okay? So they have actually removed tirzepatide as an option on their website. So they have gone on and completely taken that off of there, which seems pretty final to me, if you ask me. And then they also sent an email where they essentially just said, I'll put a copy of it here, but essentially they just said, we understand this can be scary for a lot of people. Here's what we are able to still offer. And they say that they can offer either branded prescriptions and hopefully can work with people's insurances to file more prior authorizations and really go to bat for people on the insurance side of things, or they are still able to offer semaglutide compound. So they have completely eliminated the option and the discussion of tirzepatide compound from all of their language, and seem to be taking a much more final, whereas Lavender Sky is like, we're just putting this all on hold. Join Fridays is like, nope, we're done. This is what we can do now, and this is what we can offer you. I don't think that it's necessarily bad. I think it's just a lot less risky for their company to do it this way. And so it does, I don't blame anybody for anything, right? I do think that with the decision coming so abruptly, that making final decisions right now is maybe a little bit too soon. I mean, just yesterday, before yesterday, none of this information was out, right? So all of this happened yesterday. So what's going to happen within the next week. So I do think that we're going to continue to see changes throughout the course of the next week, 2 weeks, month, whatever. Now, Orderly, which is, you guys know who I go through, has been very good about updating throughout the day yesterday, giving options, answering people's questions on the Facebook group, all of the things. And so that obviously is the one that I have the most information about. So yesterday morning, they posted a thread, which I actually shared on my original post video yesterday, where they said that they are going to be trying to open up early check-in for everybody. So typically with Orderly, you can only check in once every 2 weeks, but they were gonna reopen check-in for literally everybody, so everybody can go in and order if they so choose. And so they did end up creating that feature and reworking their system by the afternoon yesterday so that everybody could go check in. Which obviously is going to cause some backlog and all of that, but you are still able to go in and order for them. They are offering you 2-month vials, which is what they were offering. I guess this happened about a month ago, where they were able to offer you 2 months, 2 vials at one time. Yesterday afternoon, they sent a text message. If you were somebody who is on tirzepatide already, they sent out this sort of mass text to everybody, talking about how, like, what's going to kind of happen right now. And they say that essentially it is business as usual right now until they say different or they hear different. They might rework some pharmacies. Again, if you normally got through Hallandale, it's going to be sent somewhere else because Hallandale has stopped filling. And then they did also mention the change in dosage thing that Red Rock has said they might do. So if you were getting 5, you might get 5.5, you might get 6, whatever. Now, they did say in that mass text message that they sent out that within the next week, you would be able to check in and purchase 3 to 5 months at one time. That was something they were working on and should be available by the end of next week. So they would have much longer bud dates than the 90-day bud dates that are currently on my vials from Red Rock. Now, they were very clear that they said that if you do go on there right now and check in, today, yesterday, whatever, and you order 2 months, you will not be able to, in a week, order 3 to 5 months. So it basically was an either or thing. So either check in right now or wait, but you cannot do both. So I actually got that email after I had already checked in. And so I guess that option was kind of chosen for me. However, it does look like you can check in every 2 weeks. And they do say within that 3 to 5 month text message where they're talking about all of that, they do say that they're going to be able to offer that for 2 months. And that, I think, is sort of all coming from data from the original ombudsman who said that they have 60 days. So I think that Orderly is being more proactive and actually looking at data from the FDA and kind of going through the process of what they assume will happen, what they've been able to discuss with their pharmacy partners, and what they're comfortable with doing, and all of that. I think that that is where they're getting all of that data from. I do think that the statement Orderly made was very bold. So, you know, you have Join Fridays on one end. It's just like, nope, we're taking it off the website. And then Orderly, it's like business as usual. You're going to be able to order 2 months. So that's pretty, I think it's like, it's silly. What I want to say is that I'm not necessarily interested in specifically what the telehealth companies are going to say, which is why I started with the pharmacies. I think that whatever the pharmacies decide to do is going to dictate what the telehealth companies are able to do. So obviously, as pharmacies make decisions over the next several days, that is going to be the information that is vital to decide. Now, I also received an email from Orderly yesterday, and this was separate from the text message, kind of describing further what's going to happen. And I'm going to, you know, insert the parts that I'm talking about in here, but I will actually link that below as well, because it was a link that sent you to a website where you can read the entire thing. But essentially they said that you might get the altered dose, or you might get things added into it, such as vitamin B12, L-carnitine, or niacinamide, which is vitamin B3. So that's kind of what Orderly is saying right now is business as usual. Go ahead and order. You might get it from a different pharmacy than you're used to, and you might have an additive that you don't necessarily always have in your tirzepatide. And I'm hoping that what they say is going to ring true. I did order 2 vials yesterday. Now, the me part of this, what I'm going to do going forward. So I did order those 2 vials yesterday, but as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I have almost 2 vials in my refrigerator. I have a whole vial, and then I have a vial that I've taken 1 40 milligram dosage of, or 40 unit, not milligrams. Now you're trying to kill myself. 40 unit dosage of. And so 40 units is like right around 7.5, 8 milligrams. So with the 90-day bud date, if I'm only taking 40 units, just thinking simple math in my head, I'm gonna barely get through those 2 vials before the bud date expires. And depending on what the date on the new vials is, I'm not sure I'll be able to use much of them. So I'm kind of I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I was thinking through that process in my head. So I definitely don't think that I will order any more vials that have a 90-day bud date on them. I do kind of think that if it's not punctured, completely sealed, that maybe it would be okay, you know, a little bit longer. That's a comfort level thing for everybody. But I may order, if they do end up offering the 180-day bud dates, that is something that I will order. But I'm not going to. They did say that even if you had recently checked in yesterday, the email in Orderly had said that if you had recently checked in, you now can go back and add 2 more to your order. So if you had ordered 2 a few days ago, you could go back and add 2 more, which would be 4. That is not smart for me to do, because I will not use it before the bud date. So I think that's definitely something that you need to consider before purchasing like a bunch of these 90-day bud date things. And I do think that 90-day bud date is pretty, like, those bud dates are pretty conservative, because they're not going to give you the end all top of the line thing that they could do. I do believe that. And I think that that's pretty normal with any medicine. That's like the, you know, they don't give you the end all be all date. I'll just leave it at that. Again, that's what everybody's comfort level is. So that's all the information that we know right now. Let me know if you know anything else. If you are with a different telehealth company and you've heard something different, I would love to know what you've heard. Drop the comments down below so that we can help others that are within different telehealth companies. I will just say, if you say something down below, you know, try to make it something that you have heard directly from the telehealth company, or in an email to yourself, or you can see proof of it, so that we aren't like causing this mass hysteria and spreading a bunch of stuff that we don't know to be true, right? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that this was helpful to you and helped you understand a little bit more about what's going on. And I will see you guys soon. I will continue to update as things continue to unfold. And yeah, all we can do here is take a deep breath, wait and see, and hope that it works out. This dog's gonna start itching right when Code is here, Nala's here. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you soon.